Welcome back, everyone. This is J7Jace bringing you my third tier list on my channel for Final Fantasy Tactics. Unlike the previous two, though, where I talk about mixing and matching abilities such as support, reaction, and using each character and class to their maximum potential, this tier list is based ranking them on what they can do in their own job class without equipping other class abilities and etc. So I'll take into consideration things like their stats, abilities, class kill potential, and other things. This time, I'll be ranking them in 5 different tiers: S, A, B, C, and D, with S being the best of the best, and D being not so great, because I do feel that there are some that are just,
That damn good!
and some that aren't in comparison. With that being said, let's get started. I'm going to begin with the Archer. Now, I've given the Archer some heat, and they honestly aren't fantastic. Charge is one of the worst class action abilities in the game, and their overall stats aren't good. However, Adrenaline Rush and Concentration are underrated and low key strong. Getting +1 speed after losing HP, granted they don't have a lot, and working around evasion with concentration is pretty deadly, especially with a bow from afar. I'm going to rank them at B in this base class tier list. Let's put them in B. They have an overlooked reaction ability and support ability, but they are just decent damage dealers at best with mediocre stats, and aim is just lackluster. So not amazing, but not totally bad, especially if you're just using the class without mixing and matching. Next up, I'll do the arithmetician or calculator. All right, so they are in D tier for this list. I'm sorry, because they have overall bad stats, especially speed. If you could put their abilities on other classes, sure, they are insane, like everyone says, but using them in their own job, not great. You will be able to cast some magic though, since you need White and Black Mage level 5 and Mystic and Time Mage level 4 in order to unlock it. On top of poor stats, XP boost and having a movement ability that increases XP and JP isn't great. The best thing about them is Soul Bind, which damages and heals, splits it in half. But even then, they have bad HP. For these reasons, not deer, D tier. um, Now Bard, killing potential is non-existent practically. Overall poor stats besides MA. Their songs are slow, have a 50% success rate, but if you're lucky, you can get several rousing melodies for your team. It can easily change the tide of battle. Magic Boost and Faith Boost aren't great and don't offer much for the Bard itself. Move +3 is the best, or one of the best movement abilities, along with Teleport. And when songs are successful, they are so beneficial to the team. But because songs can be slow, reliant on RNG, overall bad stats, and they lack the ability to kill, definitely C or D. Oh man. C, because good support. Enough about generics for now. We're going to start with the first unique character to join us as a party member, Mustadio the Machinist. Now, he has better than average speed, and being able to disable and immobilize enemies is often overlooked, and he is fantastic at killing zombies with Seal Evil. Once he gets magic guns or Raz Algathai or Fomalot, he can do good damage from distance. Just like all other special jobs, unfortunately, they have the same support, reaction, movement with counter tackle, monster skill, beastmaster, and etc. Unless you count Zalbag. So they're all gonna lack in these areas. You also need him in order to unlock some amazing unique characters as well as equipment. Tyna Rouge, Escutcheon too. Because of his utility, pretty good kill potential in the late game, and he is required to do most of the extra post game content. I'm gonna put him in A. There we go. And he could have been along the best characters list based on that too. So he deserves A, not for his kill potential, but other things. Now, following Mustadio is the beautiful, deadly with a sword, and the woman who models knee-high boots best in Evilise, Agrice Oaks, and her Holy Knight class. Even though I wish her Holy Knight had more PA, a base move set 4, and higher speed, her unique sword skills are some of the strongest abilities in the game, doing great damage, being able to strike multiple targets with 100% accuracy, and can apply negative status effects, which they're probably going to be dead in the late game. Not to mention, instant, they don't cost any MP. She can also get the best accessory in the game, Taina Rouge. For these reasons, she's in the S tier. Probably A or B earlier on into the game because of her stats, but oh man, ages like fine wine. All right, now I'm going to cover the leading man of Final Fantasy XII, who is playable in FFT, Balthier, and his Sky Pirate job, with a passive safeguard, solid all-around stats, especially his speed, his ability to steal better than thieves with plunder, and also one of the most overpowered damaging abilities in the game, Barrage. It's like double sword, but you'll never miss, and you can use it with any weapon. He deserves S. No questions asked. Before I forget, he can also equip a variety of weapons from things like Night Swords to even bows. He's also extremely mobile with a base move and jump stat 4. Because he is so mobile, has safeguard, can steal and even kill. Some people will argue he is even better than Orlando and deserves a spot. He's like the top of SS. And speaking of S, now let's talk Orlando and his Sword Saint class. Amazing stat growths in all areas: PA, HP, speed, even magic. Despite being a knight, he can also equip clothing and hats, which is usually a better option in late game since heavy armor tends to only give HP. He has sword abilities of Holy, Divine, and Fell Knight. He can devastate pretty much any enemy in 1 or 2 hits. And he can also self-heal and kill with Shadow Blade. No arguments at all. Top of S. Like, comes with Excalibur too. Man, haste. But we're gonna go back to the generics for now. Um, Even though it is a generic class, the Black Mage is so deadly. With a great MA multiplier, meaning a higher magic attack stat while being in this job, I just like to say high MA. On top of having Arcane Strength, their damage will go through the roof. Get that faith, or if they have a high base stat as well. Just like my YouTube member, Benjamin Bomberry says, they are all offense and no defense, just like Conor McGregor.
Yeah, shut your mouth. Never speak about me. Ever in your life. Watch yourself around me.
So be careful when casting their magic, as it will leave you vulnerable, as their base class offers practically zero protection. Because they excel with their killing ability, though, Black Mages are ranked in the A spot. They're amazing, despite being a relatively basic and easy class to unlock. Another one. Chemist is always useful with its ability to equip guns and its built-in ability to throw items. Auto Potion is one of the best reaction abilities in the game. To me, it's the best one. Safeguard protects your equipment from being stolen and broken. And Treasure Hunter lets you find some of the best items in the game. Oh, I need a sip. The only real negative is that they have poor stats and aren't fantastic at killing enemies quickly, especially early on. But once you get the guns, bam, bam. But they're so versatile in this base class tier list. I'll put them near at the top of A, just without mixing and matching. They're so useful. All right, Dancer. I've given this one some heat back in the day. Dancer with the right team comp and setup very devastating with menacing minuet, slow dance, and polka. But their base class reaction and support abilities aren't so good, even their overall stats. Dance is also a bit slow and it's 50% chance to inflict negative stats ailments. I'll put them at B. Being able to potentially take off enemy speed is great. Also, Blitzball Mania likes dancers. Enough said. B. BMB. Blitzball Mania B. One of my favorite Final Fantasy characters, Cloud Strife the Soldier. Dude, what a disappointment in this game. Limit takes way too long in order to use limits, and using him in his base class without any other abilities like swiftness, he won't go anywhere. His base move set is 3 as well. And the fact that you need Materia Blade equipped, it's not even a good weapon to even use limit, was a terrible design. I'm sorry, man. D tier. Now for my favorite generic job, and something I always wanted from my days playing the PlayStation 1 version of FFT, the Dark Knight. Sanguine Sword, or Night Sword, and Crushing Blow are among the best abilities in the game, with Sanguine Sword even healing you. HP boost to improve their already low HP, vehemence to turn you into a glass cannon, and if you're a female Dark Knight, move +3. It improves your poor moveset of 3 greatly. Because they're killing machines, can self-heal, solid support and movement abilities, can equip Night Swords, Fell Swords as well, clothing. S tier for sure, despite poor HP, move speed, and a long grind to get them. Long grind. S. They are just insane. Now, I've ranked them low in the past, but Dragoon in their base job is strong. Solid HP and PA. Being able to jump to attack enemies from a distance while being off the battlefield is great. Attacking from 2 tiles away without being countered by most enemies makes them strong damage dealers. Re-Raise with Dragon Heart is an overlooked reaction ability and can trigger even if a physical attack misses. Ignore Height. Okay. Ignore Height makes you mobile on places with high elevation, with like Midlight Steep. Even Fort Zeke did, if you really grind to get them, they can jump on top of the fort. I only wish speed didn't affect the time where you come down from jump. For these reasons, oh man. A tier, but the lower end of A, going into higher B. Like, yeah, maybe B. A or B, give or take. Just my list. Feel free to disagree with me. Just don't put Cloud at S. This isn't Adamant Children. The Geomancer. The male gets D tier based on looks alone. But that's not the point of this tier list. As a standalone class, Geomancer is actually quite pretty good. Geomancy, assuming you have the abilities learned, no charge time, can inflict negative stats ailments. They say it's 25%, but it's like 5, I feel. Its range, it can attack multiple enemies. Nature's Wrath is a sleeper, underestimated. And attack boost makes them stronger at meleeing up close. They can also equip shields, so shield and mantle makes them pretty hard to hit. And they have a move set of 4. People forget that. Because they are so well-rounded, with underused class abilities, I'd put them at A. I do wish Geomancy did hit slightly harder, but definitely strong in SSCC with a good Zodiac sign. The Knight. What can I say? Amazing if you can mix and match abilities from the classes with an amazing artwork and sprite design. But no, fashion is not factored into this tier list. But the class itself is just so lacking, even though they can equip Night Swords. You can't get them um, until much later into the game through most means. Parry is a terrible reaction ability, all dependent on weapon block. Now, if you could get Defender earlier, that'd be nice. Their equip support abilities don't help them in any way because they can already equip swords, shields, and heavy armor. They also aren't very mobile with the moveset of 3, and they gotta go up close one tile. No class movement abilities, too. If they didn't have solid HP and PA, I'd rank them lower. For these reasons, they are like B, lower end of B. I'm sorry, sweetie. Now I'm going to put these two together because they're so similar. Ramza's Squire and Luso's Game Hunter. Their ability to equip, I mean, they're not ability, but because they can. Equip a variety of equipment from heavy armor, hats, clothing, night swords. Gets flails if you really want. If you get lucky in RNG, it's fantastic. Overall, pretty good stat growths with a base move set of 4. Their abilities like Tailwind and Shout can give them many turns quickly to snowball a fight. They are the best at increasing their own bravery and other people's bravery as well. Lusa can also poach monsters. And Ramza makes a very deadly male mage, so he will have more MA than Luso. For these reasons, in this base class tier list, they do get S. Just, it does take a while to get their kill potential up because they need to constantly use Shout and Tailwind, but once you do, monsters. Okay. Merrick, or Marak, and Nether Seer. Overall, poorly designed with his lower faith being a factor. His RNG attacks require charge time. His overall stats just aren't great, and because we can't use things from other classes, D tier. I'm sorry. He's also kind of a jerk. Moving on to Melidal. Now, such a beast on War of the Lines. She'd be a bit lower, like B or C. Maybe B, if it was PS1. But it's War of the Lines. Her abilities work on monsters. She's often overlooked, though. Like, she gets just thrown aside because Orlando joins first. But, crush equipment abilities, or for all you veterans and OGs out there, Hellcry Punch. Solid all-around stats. Base moves set of 4. She can also equip clothing. Other fun facts, she can also equip pole arms and crossbows, but night swords are just superior. Because she has some of the best abilities in the game and good overall stats, she's a cut above the vast majority. She's like up there with Balthier and Orlando, 100%. Whew. The Mime. Now, I don't like them. Most people don't. They're so gimmicky. Even though they have good stats besides MP, they also have Brawler, Concentration, and Beastmaster. They can't equip anything, though, from items and abilities. Just overall super gimmicky. For these reasons, D. They're not very flexible at all. Now, on to the Monk. This tier list has like all female sprites, but I just noticed that the Monk is so strong. In addition to being a physical powerhouse, just need good bravery. They also have built-in martial arts, so their unarmed will be very good. They can also attack at range, with Wave Fist and Earth Slash. Strong reaction abilities. HP restore, counter. First strike is really overrated though, and it costs so much JP. They can slowly heal with life font as well. But because this class offers so much with strong damage and reaction abilities and an overlook movement ability, oof. S. Yeah, S. S or high A. 100%. Okay. We're on to the Mystic Oracle. Such a low-key strong base class. Here's why. Because of Invigoration, Drain, which is good against nearly all enemies. You're going to deal 25% of their maximum health. It'll heal you as well. Just don't use it on zombie targets. Also, being able to disable sleep enemies' defense boost, increases their survivability from physical attacks, and Mana Font restores their MP. For these reasons, A. Their stats are a bit lacking, but man, just very good at taking down the Lucavi and Ultima with Invigoration. And you can also melee people with pulls as well. It's very deceptively strong. The Ninja, strong speed and PA. They have dual wield and are so mobile with 4 move and 4 jump. Sunken State is often overlooked, and Reflexes with a mantle drastically increases your chances at dodging most attacks. Throw gives them a strong damaging attack at range, so get some axes, they're gonna hit really hard. Throwing them, not meleeing. Lower end of S for sure. For these reasons. And especially if you get one with a lower fate stat at the start, good mage killers. Now for the most disappointing thing in War of the Lions, along with the slowdown, even though I played it with the slowdown, the Onion Knight. Now, no abilities you can equip whatsoever, even if you master the job. They have amazing stats at level 8 mastered. Can equip everything, but just too gimmicky and a waste of time. Females get an S for fashion, but unfortunately, this is not Evilisa's next top model. This class gets a D because they're so limited. And they can't even level up unless you use the Wild Boar or on the PS1 the Wild Bow. so they get D. Now the Order or Mediator, they are awesome because they can increase and decrease bravery and faith. Can equip guns, but too bad the success rate of Speechcraft is based on MA, and their MA is average, not great. So you're at the mercy of RNG. With Talk Skill, they don't offer any good reaction abilities too. It's like what, Finger Guard? As a base class, they get C. Late game guns are solid, but as a standalone class, just decent at best. Put them in C. Singing like with the Bard. Now, Rafa's Skyseer, I've hated on her in the past. With the right build in RNG, she can do insane damage, especially if you can mix and match though. But without having other abilities from other jobs, her class is fairly weak overall. Has a pretty good speed stat. I like her as a character, good story. She is way better than Merrick though, so she. I'm gonna put her in B. This might anger some people, but you get things like Sage's Ring, Japamala, that will increase her Sky Mattress skill damage. Okay, Ray's probably one of the most unique of the unique characters. With some of the best stat growths in the entire game, several passive abilities. What was it? Beastmaster, Dual Wield, Tame, and Beast Tongue, I want to say. However, she can't equip most equipment. Her amazing buff abilities only work on dragons. The breaths don't do amazing damage, and her best ability, Holy Breath, is reliant on RNG. Because of these limitations, and not being that mobile with 3 move 3 and 3 jump, I'm gonna put her in A tier. She's situationally strong, reliant on RNG, and needs other abilities from other jobs to be entirely overpowered. Samurai will place high in this base class tier list, even though their stats aren't good besides their PA. Having access to Shida Hadori and Double Hand makes them so strong when using them in their base class. Let me see. What else can they do? Being able to use Kiyomori for Protect and Shell instantly and only on your allies is so strong. Masamune is insane, regen and haste. And even though they may not have the MA stat for draw out to do insane damage, it is still decent against a group of enemies, especially on someone like Ramza. I'd love to put them in S, but the class just needs a little bit better stats. But they are still strong and based, deserving at the top of A. Okay, the generic base Squire. Being able to stack focus many times is great for damage. Their other abilities aren't good besides move +1, JP boost, but you're already gonna master this job so fast anyway. For these reasons, as a base class alone, they belong in C. It's not Ramza's Squire, so yeah, C. Focus is good, but yeah, the other stats are lacking. We're on to the Summoner. Solid MA. Long charge time though. But summons do strong damage. And things like Have MP and even Golem. Very underrated. They're not gonna hit your allies. They are quite fragile without the help of other class support abilities. And critical recover MP is kind of memeish. I honestly should have rated them higher in my first ever tier list, which got a lot of good reception overall. But solid and deserves a spot in A, especially if you have a team of them. Can't mix and match. Definitely up there. Now we're on to Thieves. Oh, okay, I almost didn't recognize her. Their damage potential is quite low, but they have better than average speed. Overall, very useful things. Sticky fingers, poach. They can steal. Move +2, jump +2. Move +2 is one of the best abilities. It's like the best on a female back on vanilla, since they couldn't get move +3 in the PS1 FFT. Because they're useful in other areas besides killing. Also, Steel Heart can charm people. I'd put them at A because you can get amazing things from this class. I rated them lower before, but they should be rated higher. Just based on utility, their kill potential is bad. Getting Chaos Blade for everyone is great. I sort of emphasize their lack of kill potential too much. Definitely B or A, but I'm gonna put them in A. We can get all these awesome things with them. Oh, we're almost at the end. Second or third to last, Time Mage. What they do best is haste and slow. Meteor and Demi, I found them way too slow, even with swiftness. Not a bad class at all, but not particularly very strong. They have teleport, which is among the best movement abilities, but base moves set of 3. For these reasons, I'm putting them at B. Yeah, they do lack kill, but very good utility support. The White Mage. I'm saving. Oh shoot, talking too long. I'm saving White Mage. No, Beowulf for last, but we're on White Mage now. Overlooked, especially used and naked. Asuka base. Not spectacular, but not bad. Better than average speed and PA compared to the other mages. The charge time and having raise can miss, but Holy is such a safe, high damaging single target spell. If we could blend classes like normal and have their abilities spectacular, but this isn't the case. They deserve B for being pretty good. Okay. Beowulf. Good stats overall. PA, MA, comes with good faith. Break. All his spells are instant. Spellblade. He can also equip Night Swords, base move set of 4. Definitely S. Bam. Put him up there with the boys. All right, now this is my base class tier list. I'm not sure how many of you got to this point of the video. Just to clarify for the millionth time though, this is just for using a class solely on what they have only. Because I know someone is going to say dual wield on knight, monk, and so on. Why isn't Raze and Dragonkin higher on the list? And so on. With that being said, though, thanks so much for watching. For my community, I know this video, Ransom D and Old Burgle wanted it, and they're like the MVPs of the channel. So this was the video for them. Hopefully, feel free to disagree, agree, as long as it's not, some over-the-top comments like Cloud, American S. I'll be pretty okay. But thank you so much again for watching, and more FFT to come. I'll see you next time.